Chanel number 5 or something was made from this. I don't know if that's true.
What?
This is a hummingbird nest, which was really cool. Tons of hummingbirds. This was my guide, Timon, and Timon was a guy. So Elaine, what their job was is they connected people that lived in this town in Costa Rica with ecotourism. So the idea was you hire a local to take you out and show you things. And this is a golden orb weaver spider. They have pound for pound the strongest. Their silk is the strongest material on the planet. Okay, in fact, yeah, right, exactly. Yep. And they're I mean, look how big this spider is. Golden orb weaver.
Wait.
Very, very cool.
Is it venomous?
Nope, it was cool. Oh, that's a grasshopper. These plants were really cool because if you touched them, they all closed. This was the town. That's Elaine. And that's not a very good picture of Elaine. But there's the ocean. Let's see where to go back. Another beach picture. That was right outside those are all bees. That was right outside the kitchen window. I'll never forget the first night we got there. She's like, "Can you help with dinner?" I was like, "Sure." And so I was like peeling potatoes, and then she said, "Hey," or I said, "What do I do with these potato peelings?" She goes, "Oh, let me show you where our compost pile is." She grabbed it, and she just threw it out the window, and she said, "Oh, those peels will be gone in about 15 minutes." The soil there, everyone thinks the soil in the tropical rainforest is really, really thick. But it's incredibly thin. And the reason why it's incredibly thin is because everything just is recycled very quickly. Like, our leaves are falling right now, right? Okay. And what happens to those leaves, like in the forest? So, like I think I joked, like there's no little gnomes that are like breaking up the leaves, right? Okay, right? And so what happens to those leaves?
Yeah, how do you know?
That's good, man. Yeah, I set up some trail cams and I haven't seen those little gnomes. Raking that up. Okay, have you seen them? Oh yeah, I love to see them. So they've developed these like buttresses, like these kind of like these long, flared out root systems. Okay, to prevent them from falling over because the roots don't go down very deep. By the way, that's a leaf cutter ant. Again, horrible picture. But Timon said that these leaf cutter ants, we call them the North American ants because they come in and just take everything out and leave nothing but bare soil.
Well, explain to me, how does it like really decompose that?
It just decomposes incredibly fast. There's just not a very thick soil level.
Like bacteria in
Yeah.
the soil?
Oh, it's like animals, fungi, bacteria too, all that stuff. Like stuff does not decompose over a long time building up soil. It's crazy. And that's why, like, when you tear the rainforest down for like farming land, the farming land never lasts because there's not enough buildup there. We went to a tribal ceremony, which was really cool. And this was a picture of this kind of old teepee that the people used to live in. I was really excited because we got to sit through the whole ceremony, and they had this really, well, she said, you don't have to drink it if you don't want to. It's called chiqua. And it was, she's going to say it's an alcoholic beverage, and some people like get really intoxicated and may hallucinate. I was like, give it to me, man. I'm all on the game, right? And so I took some and drank out of like this communal bowl, which was real weird. Okay, but I did it, and I was like, man, let the ride begin, right? And I sat there, and guess what? Nothing. Zero, nothing. I was like, got some more, nothing. Did not feel even like slightly buzzed. Yeah, that was the biggest disappointment of my life. Okay. Randomly, I remember what this picture is. And this is a sad picture. So, and also a weird story. So I was crossing the street one day. So they would go do their jobs, and I would just kind of hang out in the city. And I hitchhiked a lot to like get into the town, which was really fun. But then, so I was hanging out in town, and all of a sudden I see this car hit a dog, and it was so sad. And so myself and this other American woman, uh, uh, we ran up to the dog, and the dog was eventually dead, and died right there in our arms. And I was like, "What do we do?" She's like, "We're gonna bury this thing like right now." I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, where?" She's like, "On the beach." So we went to the beach and buried it next to like one of these trees. It was the craziest thing ever. Like we're just digging. I was a big dog too. It was like we digging by hand. I think we found like
How'd you get the dog there?
we carried. I mean, the beach was right there. We
Carried
carried
a dead dog there.
it to the beach and we buried it. Right?
Oh,
And then-
good.
Yeah.
They're probably sitting there like,
Right.
thinking
I know,
you guys
people
are
what's
crazy.
going- I know, right. I don't know. People were really cool there. Anyway, so there's my Costa Rica stories. I'm sure at some
Basically,
point.
if you wanted to like bury a dead body in Costa Rica, like you couldn't because the soil's not deep enough, and if you did, it would decompose really quick.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Right. All right.
How long were
Okay.
you there?
I was only there for like a few weeks, so not long enough. I wish I would have stayed
Does she
longer.
still live down there?
She does not. She now lives in Houston, Texas, or outside Houston, Texas, which is
What
yeah.
was her job while she was there?
What her job was to connect people like the locals with like ecotourism. So it was a really, really cool job. But yeah, now she has a bed and breakfast, and they built their entire house out of like recycled plastic bottles. And yeah, I should show you that picture later. Okay, all right, let's finish up aquatic stuff. And by the way, my goal is to have a test on this on Thursday. Okay? I know, it sucks. It's like we're ending this pretty quickly. And so Thursday, I think we'll be ready. I'm going to end the lecture I think we'll get done with most of the stuff today, finish up tomorrow, and then that'll give me time to kind of put it out there. I did get the notice again that we can't do stuff online, so I'll probably print it out again, which kind of stinks, but oh well, there we go. All right, let's talk about lakes and ponds. Like we've already talked about the idea that we don't have, we have a lot of lakes, a lot of ponds here. When we talk about geology, coming up, I think in chapter 8, we will be talking about how a lot of our lakes and ponds formed here in Indiana. But we're familiar with this. If you ever go to college and you study environmental science and you take a class called limnology, okay, that's a study of lakes and ponds, and it's a super fun class, right? And so if you do this, talk to me because there's some good stuff. But if you had this, there's the littoral zone. That's that zone where the pond begins and where life kind of, the plants kind of end. We've got the cattails. Then the limnetic zone, okay, so limnology is that study of this area of the lakes, and then profundal, which is down at the bottom, and then benthic is the same as in oceans, okay? Again, we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the water quality in lakes and ponds and rivers and streams later, okay? There's some words. All right, let's talk about wetlands, and specifically swamps, marshes, bogs, and then I'm going to add fins to that as well. I'll come back to that. So here's a little tool for remembrance. And thanks for sticking with me on a Monday. I know this isn't super exciting. So how do you know the difference between a swamp and a marsh and a bog and a fin? Okay, so here's the key. Swamps, okay, have water, but the trees they're alive in the water. Okay, so if you think of like the swamps of like Louisiana, right, and they've got the boat kind of going through, and the trees are all alive. Okay, that's a swamp. Okay, a marsh is where all the trees are like dead. Okay, right, so all the trees are dead. Okay, but they're still standing. Right. Okay, they cannot live in that area. A bog is a bowl, and a fen is also a bowl, okay? But the bog has incredibly acidic soil, okay? Really, really acidic soil filled with peat, okay? That dark, nice dark soil, right? And then the fin, and I wish I could take you to the fin. I'm going to show you a quick video of the fin here in a second. Okay, the fin is one of the coolest places that I've ever been to in my life. Okay, some of you went with me, right? Okay, yeah, freshman year. A fin is where you have land, you have water going underneath it, and then underneath that you have more land. So when you step on a fin, it's bouncy.
It's like,
Okay.
it's kind of like a jet.
And the fin is like moving. The water is moving underneath it. Yes.
Where we farm, we have some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And when you like drive the combine and stuff,
Yeah.
it's like feels like you're driving on the ocean. Water.
Oh, right.
It's like a wave, like with the front tires that like it comes up. It's like a wave.
Oh yeah, man. It's the craziest. Okay, so unfortunately I can't take you to the fin. So I'm going to take you to the fin thanks to Jacob Casper's GoPro. So I don't know if you even know some of these kids from back in the day. There's Connor Eichenauer, and then there's Madison Isabel, and there's Jeremy Herman. That's Nancy Smith's son. Okay, so this is the road by the fin. So the fin is, by the way, I'll take you there once we can all like shake all this out, right? Okay, but it's located, so if you go north on Timbercrest Road, okay, and then you turn left on, it depends on if you're looking at it from Kosciuszko County or Wabash County. It's left on 1300 or 1500. It's 1300 in Wabash County. It's 1500 in Kosciuszko. Y'all with me on this?
Yeah.
It's the road that, like, if you keep going west, you'll go to the Moore's house and like Dave McKee's house. Like, so Moore's house is right here. Dave McKee's house right here. Here's Packard Road. That road is County Line Road. Yeah, y'all with me on this?
Yeah.
And this is where it kind of dips down. All right. So, let me mute this. We're not going to watch all 16 minutes here, but I like the takeoff.
What is the drone?
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Say Bobby.
Bobby.
Oh, follow me around.
Jay Casper got really into drones for a while. Does he? I don't even know if he still has it. You've seen the drone, right? Huh?
Got a man down.
So this is Swank Creek right here. Swank Creek does end up in the Eel River. So we are facing south. Okay. I still have never figured out what's going on with that cross. I like to make up stories, but so the fin is going to be behind us. Okay. All right. So here's the fin. This nice little pocket right here.
Whoa.
Okay.
It like rises up.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just how you draw
Right?
it. So.
Yeah. Here's Swank Creek over here. Okay. So this is a fin. Okay. This over here is a marsh. Okay. And the reason why it's a marsh, you'll see here in a little bit, that it does have a lot of dead trees. Okay. And look how far the fin goes back. What do you think all those lines are for? Anybody know what those lines are for?
Where the water cracks.
Nice guess. It's where deer go through, right? So look how far this goes back. Now the fin goes back quite a ways. I have, yeah, it's pretty
And
cool.
it's all kind of like an aqueduct. Go ahead. You go. Maybe we have the same question. Is this kind of like an aqueduct then?
No, an aqueduct would be a man-made thing that goes from. Great question. From let's say from California to the Colorado River, so I'm pumping water. This is all natural here, okay? And this is a lot of this is geological. So this right here, this goes all the way back. There's farm. This is where Swank Creek cattle is, and then over here we actually have a successional dune. So there is a dune that is in technically we're in Kosciuszko County right now, left over from the glacial moraine, and we'll talk about that. The soil level on top of this dune is about this thick, and then you just hit nothing but like pure sand. You literally, it looks like you're at Lake Michigan. That's the color of the sand. It's really beautiful. So that's this over here. Now let's go. So there's more of the fin. It's kind of going there. Yeah, let's go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so at this point, we got marsh over here. Okay, lots of dead trees, hard to see. This is a dune right here. Okay, the grade on this is about, I think it's about 60 degrees. It's quite a hike when we go there and hike up this one part. Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I'll check it out. Yeah, I think that's probably not 60. It's probably more like 45. I like to exaggerate. I'll get my little guy out. We'll look
I have
at
a
it.
question.
Yeah.
So, like,
I mean, it's like this though. It's crazy.
you said the water, like, under the fin is really big.
Yeah.
So, does
So-
it ever, like, drain out?
Yeah.
Or where
So
does it-
yeah. So right here is all this water, and it's literally flowing underneath this fin. And I found and then here's Swank Creek. So this is at a higher elevation than this here. So it's flowing underneath here, and I found spots on this west side where the water is just shooting out.
Really?
Like right, oh yeah, it was the coolest thing. And then there's this spot over here, I've only seen it once, which is another geological feature called a cane, and we'll look at that later. Luckily, no one tried to farm this, as far as I know, because this ecosystem, we've got a temperate deciduous forest over here. Up here, we have an oak woodland, a successional oak woodland on geologically moraine dune. We've got marsh. We've got fen. It's like when Jerry Boyer, you can't just go here. Okay, unfortunately, when Jerry bought this land, he's like, I don't know if it's really a fen. I'm going to get this guy to come out there. So he invited me out there with the state botanist, and it was just like, I was like, Jerry, how have you not told me about this? He said, well, I just bought it not too long ago. And ever since then, I was like, please, can we go out here? Kind of take students out there.
So, like, if you, like, jump on it, do you, like, kill?
Oh, I mean, you jump and it's like, ooh. And then, like, I've lost it. Did we lose a couple? When did we lose somebody? It's like their foot went down. Who was that? I can't remember. But like they hit us a weak spot and like totally went down. And like I had to dig them out of the fin. Like no joke.
It was even a glen.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. Yes.
Yes, I was saying like we have been dating through spots like that, and yeah, like you'll hit cracks in the ground where it just shoots, like feel like what water pressure behind it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. There's a GIF, and I'll need to find it again, where you'll see a guy like dive into the ground, right? Have you seen this one? And it's like that because he's in a fin. He's in a fin, or like there's another area kind of like this called a floating bog mat. So like it's weird, but all land eventually, like all water eventually could become land. Okay, so if we had like an area, okay, here's a prime example. So this is a little bit, I'll talk more about this later, but I got to talk about it now. You guys know, if you're going down 114, do you know where, like right before the golf course, there's like, if I'm going towards Fort Wayne, there's that kind of fancy house, like on the left, that's the Evans house. But if you go back, you were at, I think it's Allie Sykes' grandparents. Here, I'll just show you on the map.
What was
Okay, maps. .googles.com, and the bell's going to ring. This is not how I thought any of this was going to go down today, but oh well. Here we go. Stick with me just 1 second because I want to show you this. There's this spot, and I wish I would have taken a picture of it a long time ago, and I never did it, and now I really regret it. Okay, so it's like it's where the Brandenburgs live. Okay, and so here's the farm. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. That's Midwest Poultry. Okay, and then here's this the Sites Farm. Okay, let me see if this is right. This isn't it. I think it's not that one. Here's Pleasant Hill Cemetery. Keep going. Keep going. Where's the golf course? Here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Duh, you said I'm going the wrong way. Remind me tomorrow. I was going west. Okay, bye. Thanks for listening. See ya.
that?